Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Olympic silver medalist and highly touted British heavyweight prospect Joe Joyce, he'll look to create history by claiming the Commonwealth title in just his fourth fight, when he takes on current champ Lenroy Thomas of Jamaica. And I was hoping to do a couple of vids on this topic this week and a little bit more on Haye Bellew, but I've been a little bit under the weather. So what I'm going to do for this video is a wrap of fight week activities from the open workout, some comments from the undercard presser, the weigh-in, the face-off, and then to some thoughts, of course. And make sure, listen with some headphones to get the full effect of the sound. Also, at the end of this video, I'll briefly go to the David Haye and Tony Bellew weigh-in, a couple of thoughts on the weight, and final thoughts for the fight. And to see my prediction video on that, I'll make the link available at the end of this one. Okay, we're going to do a montage now, so buckle in. Let's go.
My first time here was Eddie and Anthony Joshua invited me over, and it was all part of God's plans. Here am I years later, defending my title. Can't ask for nothing more. I tuned the crowd out, I did my homework, you passed the test, and I fight my body's on my knee. The body's not mine, it's the man's upstairs, and he's already took care of that for me, So I just gotta show up and do my job.
Yeah, I'm ready. Training's gone well, and I've done some great rounds of sparring, and I think it's amazing that this fight could be made for the Commonwealth title in my fourth fight. I like being the first to do things and making history. So all credit to Lenroy for coming over here, and I'm just excited to be on such a big card, and at the O2 it's going to be amazing. Starting with the Commonwealth titles, should I win it will be, a stepping stone to greater things, bigger and better things.
And glory be to the Most High Jah. Look at this. When I first met you, I came here to help Anthony Joshua. Now look at the table. Look what the table prepared for me. Take care of my family. This is not about me. This is about my family. This is about to show everyone who go through the struggle that if they keep on persevere, have their faith and believe in God, they can do anything. Come Saturday night, it's going back home with me again, and hopefully me and Rhino can finish the business we started. Listen, you saw what happened with Lomachenko, right? When they try to step him up for a world title, of course. I know what I'm capable of doing. Me and Coach Kenny, we put the work in, have a hell of a camp, and it's time to go to work.
Look forward to that.
I know Joyce had a great amateur pedigree, but Lenroy Thomas is coming with heavyweight champion.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that montage there. This Joe Joyce and Lenroy Thomas heavyweight fight for the Commonwealth strap, it's actually the fight that I'm looking forward to the most on this card. And that's not to take too much away from the Haye Bellew fight, because that's an intriguing fight for its own reasons. But I'm looking forward to this one for a couple of reasons. First, it's by far the biggest step-up fight for Joe Joyce in his brief career. And that's featured a good first-up win over an out-of-shape Ian Lewison, then stay-busy wins over the likes of Rudolf Josic, and then a woefully out-of-shape Donnie Palmer, who, judging by this clip in the background, he didn't have the most pleasant of breath if Joe Joyce's hand gestures are anything to go by. But I digress. At 32, Joyce and his promoter David Haye, they're not looking to muck around, not looking to pad out Joyce's record for 15 fights before really joining the contender ranks. Rather, they're looking for a fast route to a ranking and then ultimately to a title shot. Joyce at 32, he really doesn't have time to waste. Long amateur background, good amateur pedigree, but at 32, he's got to go places quickly if he's going to actually get that shot. Some of that progress, though, has been stymied to some degree, as the fights that Haye has been after, for whatever reason, haven't panned out or fallen into his lap, hence being forced to make the Josic and Palmer fights, which weren't the fights that Haye has been touting and talking up. But in Lenroy Thomas, who's 22-4 with a draw on his record as well, he's facing a fighter who's steadily improved in recent years through hard work, dedication, discipline, and particularly he's had very good sparring opportunities with the likes of Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder. So I do believe that Lenroy Thomas, he's had a bit of a slow burner of a career. He has been getting better. He comes better than advertised. You hear 22-4 and you don't think, oh, actually, he's probably not much chop. But actually, I actually do rate Thomas. And there's been a number of training camps that he's been in with Deontay Wilder. And I think we've seen some of the improvements translating into his recent performances, particularly the first fight with Dave Allen, where he was a cut above Allen's level. And unlike some of Joe Joyce's other opponents so far in his brief career, Thomas is in shape. He is in shape. He's ready to go 12 rounds should it come to that. And while Thomas, he doesn't necessarily do any one thing amazingly well, he's a reasonably well-rounded performer. He's a good fighter. And if Joyce isn't boxing smart and isn't defensively responsible, he could end up eating a few shots that he doesn't like. But with a 3.5-inch reach advantage, a big right hand, and good boxing fundamentals, I actually do favour Joyce to win this fight. And that could be by either mid to late round stoppage or even on points. I could see that happening, but I would probably favour the former, a stoppage mid to late rounds. But what I'm really interested to see out of this fight is some of the gains that Joyce has been making in training. So he's now under the tutelage of Ismael Salas and Ruben Barrios, and of course David Haye, some influence there. We have seen a few glimpses of progress from Joyce recently. And I think an example of that being some of the movement that he did show in the Palmer fight, where he was dancing around the ring and he was throwing in some really nice jabs from long range to the body. And it wasn't just the whole sort of, Joyce walking forward, rudimentary style, or, some people have dubbed him having a very basic or even novice-y style. But I think he will use this opportunity, if he can, to show some of us exactly what he's doing in training and how he is evolving as a fighter. And I think we've seen flashes of that. I expect to see more of it in this fight. And if Joyce wins, though, actually, the next fight could be quite a good one, because he could end up facing the winner of the Sam Sexton, who holds the British title at the moment, versus challenger Hughie Fury. So that's for British title, that's on May 12th. And actually that's been made a final eliminator to the Commonwealth strap by the Commonwealth Boxing Council. So assuming Fury gets past Sexton, a Joe Joyce versus Fury matchup, man, that is a mouth-watering prospect for heavyweight fans. And I'm sure it would be actually, a lot of fans would have quite a hard time definitively saying who wins that one. Because Fury, he is slippery as anything. A really good mover. He just needs to sit down on his punches more. He needs to trade more often. And we've seen he can go 12 rounds with the likes of Joseph Parker. And I guess if you were to make a comparison, Joyce and Parker, they're somewhat alike. I mean, it's not like for like, but I think it would be quite a hard fight for both guys. So, interesting matchup if it did end up coming to pass, but obviously both have to win their respective fights. So good luck to Joe Joyce and to Lenroy Thomas, but I am rolling with Joe Joyce for the win. In terms of the main event, just briefly, so Tony Bellew, David Haye, they've weighed in, and they've weighed in lighter than they did for their first fight, which was a year ago. So Bellew tipping the scales at 210 pounds, which is 3 pounds lighter, and David Haye coming in at 220 pounds. That's 4 pounds lighter. But I guess from what has been said and how they've looked in fight week, actually coming in a little bit lighter, it's not really a huge surprise. They did look a little bit leaner, the both of them. But if anything, I think it actually favours David Haye, who did look a little bit too heavy, a little bit too muscle-bound in that first fight. And I've already stated from my prediction video, which a link will come up soon to that, I am picking David Haye to win this one. But I won't be surprised if it goes to points. And as I've stated before, I won't be surprised if Tony Bellew gets another win. That wouldn't shock me either. But I really think this fight comes down to what version of David Haye turns up on the night. Will his body be up to the challenge this time? Not long to find out. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.